Hey there, it's me, Brianca Jay, and welcome back to my little corner of the internet where we talk all things books. If you're new here, I want to go ahead and invite you to like, comment, or subscribe so that you can see more videos like this one. And, let people know that readers are leaders. We're still here. And, we still have a love and a passion for this. So if you still are an avid reader, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let me know you gang. Now, today's video is going to be about uh, literary theory, and this is really just about the lenses in which we can read literature. So I was doing this series a while back. In some way, I got away from it, but I wanted to continue to go over the schools of thought and theory for literature for my college students out there and the professors who enjoy this channel and add me to their syllabus. I can't thank you guys enough for that. So I wanted to continue to bring something of value to you as well. And so for today, we're going to talk about queer theory. Now, before we get started, I want to invite you to check out my description box. It is chock full of so much important information about how to find me, how to connect with me on social media, how to get in touch with me for different positions. If you don't know, I am a web designer here in Houston, Texas, and I offer my services to small businesses across the nation who are looking to kind of create an online presence. So if that fits you or you know someone who may need that service, please refer me. Every referral helps and it keeps me employed and eating. And we all know we everybody needs to eat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody deserves to eat at the least, no matter who it is. They deserve to eat. But without further ado, let's talk about queer theory. So this is a literary theory that's kind of new, actually. It developed around the 1980s, and it's a really influential field that has built on ideas of feminism, gender studies, women's studies, lesbian and gay studies, and all of that combined becomes queer theory. And what it does is it tries to criticize the dominant binary. So like heterosexuality versus homosexuality, masculine versus feminine, and how we enthrone the two sexes and cast other things as abnormal, right? Gay is abnormal, homosexuality is abnormal, cross-dressing, transgender. So it wants to explore these things when they're like looking through literature. And so what it does essentially is it attacks the homophobic and patriarchal basis of heterosexuality. So it looks at heterosexuality and finds the issues in which they are perpetuating this hatred or disdain for same-sex couples or this raised supremacy for male dominance within society. And they, as queer theorists and people who are looking from a queer lens, tend to point out these issues in our literary works. That's their job. So basically, it aimed beyond lesbian and gay rights philosophies to study some other so-called perverse, deviant, and alternative sexualities. And so they look at things like sodomites and hermaphrodites and homosexual, as well as woman and man. And they stress the character and hierarchy of sexualities. Like, what is feminine? What is masculine? What are these performative aspects of gender construction, right? To be masculine or feminine, they say, requires like performative, practicing an array of rituals. And for instance, we have cross-dressers who like mimic this all the time to express their gender identity. So what does it really mean to be feminine or masculine? These are type of deep questions that are asked by queer theorists when they start to look at literary works and start to explore the what we consider to be normal and these binary oppositions, especially when it comes in contact with our sexuality and our sexual identities. They also try to point out that heteronormativity is a thought that's embedded in our social institutions. So from family to church to school to law to media and politics, we are used to and are expected to see the operation of a male and female couple. Well, queer theorists try to ask the question or raise the question as to why. Why so little representation of such a big community in the world? And why the need to like continuously police these binary oppositions of normal and pathological, which makes sexual minorities of like LGBTQI people or queer people feel stigmatized and criminalized in society. So one work that they look at a lot is The History of Sexuality by Foucault. And in that book, he demonstrates the instability of these binaries when it comes to our sexuality, of course. They also look at French feminists and they try to deconstruct that pre-Oedipal sphere of the imaginary order, the idea of polysexuality. So they are trying to just open our minds to different ideas of normalcy, a different ideas of sexual identity, and to point out the need for these binary institutions to kind of be broken down, not only in the literary sphere, but in our like societal sphere. So queer theory is sometimes positioned as a wing of like African American and other ethnic studies. I don't think it's because they have much to do with it, but they just kind of mesh all the littler, less scholarship placed studies in like one group of post Marxism and post structuralism and post colonial criticism. But it really is like its own theory in its own right, because it looks at things in a way that is unique to any other school of thought or theory, and it asks questions and raises questions about sexuality that you may not see raised in things like post-Marxism or African American literature. So I would argue that these things are completely autonomous and are worth looking at in their own right. Um, they really grapple with like these internal disputes over politics and activism, and they might even talk about street protests versus ivory tower protests, queer separatism versus assimilation, queers of color versus white color queers, um, separatism, all these different things. They try to look at every little aspect of um, binary oppositions, normalcy, what we consider to be the norm, and to break it down and ask where their representation is and how do they fit into the equation. And they even try to point out how some of the media and some of the more harsh narratives about their lifestyle can create these moral panics and waves of intolerance, and that can be cited with the HIV/AIDS panic. Right, everybody was blaming and being panicky towards gays based on this disease, even though they didn't have enough evidence to even place it as the lifestyle choice of theirs at that time. But they became the scapegoats of this particular era of time. So because of that, one of the priorities of queer theory and criticism is just to recover the literature in a tradition through scholarship and teaching, and also to criticize any omissions, distortions, or stereotypes that are present in our like active current literature, um, and to look for like reform and representation in literature moving forward. And that's pretty much the idea and the goals of what queer theory is about and what they seek to accomplish when they look at literature through this lens. Um, and it's a really fun way to kind of explore identity, explore the nuances of these male female or these female female or male male relationships. Sometimes I think that I've overly simplified works and just like, oh, they're friends, and then I'll read a paper about it from a queer theorist position, and I'll be like completely stunned because I missed all of the smaller nuances that show that this brotherly or platonic friendship is actually infested with like all these sexual nuances. And so it's always really fun and interesting to look at the works with that new and novel perspective that you probably wouldn't have otherwise noticed had you been just reading it for like an African American's perspective or a colonialist perspective. So that's why theory is so important, because anytime you can read the same book, 12 to 15 times and choose to look at it through a new lens, and you will uncover new sentiments about that work. And I think that's one of the better things about studying theory and literature, but that's just me. At this point, I'm just ranting, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you for watching and tuning in. If you have any notes about queer theory, or any great scholars who talk about it besides Foucault, I would love for you to drop it in the comment box so we can talk about it further, or maybe I could pick up on some of the research you've done and we can have a greater, deeper discussion next time. Peace and love to you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you like this video, and of course, check out the description box for all of my cool, very, very cool, so cool, everybody thinks so, in the description box. I can't tell you just how great that information is. Super great. The best and greatest there ever was. I am great. I piss excellent. I hope you guys know I'm just joking around. Have a great day. See you guys soon. I'll be back with more videos next week.